Hi, my name is Maddie, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about literally anything that comes to mind, which can be both a good or a bad thing. I guess we'll see. So today we're back with a video about boy bands, which I think this is my third installment, which is honestly three too many if you ask me. But here we are. Today's band is really interesting though because it's fictional, but it's portrayed by a real band with the same names, but they're fake. Got it? Okay, let's get into it. Jonas was a TV series that aired on Disney Channel from 2009 to 2010. The series follows the band Jonas as they try to live a normal life despite being very famous. It starred the Jonas brothers, Joe, Kevin, and Nick, who went by the same names on the show, but they have a different last name of Lucas. They are brothers and members of the band Jonas. Kevin is the oldest brother and is very wacky. He often says very dumb things, but is a very honest person. He plays guitar. Joe is the Jonas frontman and tends to be somewhat superficial, but is also a little goofy guy upon occasion. He plays the guitar and keyboard. Nick is the youngest of the band and is very serious compared to his brothers. He rarely smiles except for when he likes a girl and always hates on his brothers. He also likes to bake. He plays the drums and the guitar. They all sing, obviously. The fourth Jonas brother, Frankie, appears as their younger brother. Also in the main cast is Chelsea Kane as Stella Malone, Jonas's stylist and childhood's best friend, and Nicole Anderson as Macy Misa, Stella's best friend and huge Jonas fangirl who runs an unofficial fan website. I think whenever anyone's talking about the show, you kind of have to mention that like the original concept for the show was that the boys were going to be government secret agents that played concerts as like a guise, and the name Jonas was an acronym for Junior Operative Networking as Spies, because that would have done really well. The main cast for season one is Joe, Kevin, Nick, Stella, and technically not Macy, but I'm counting her as one because she's in most of the episodes. Also important characters are Frankie, the Jonas dad, and the Jonas mom. I could have used their real names, but quite frankly, they only refer to them as mom and dad, so that's what we're gonna call them. There's also the band security guy. His name is Big Man, who is played by the IRL Jonas Brothers head of security. So that's pretty cool. This season is set in New Jersey, where the band is canonically from. In episode one, Wrong Song, Nick writes a song for a girl he likes named Penny, played by Bridget Mendler. Shout out. Kevin and Joe make fun of him for falling for her too fast, which he like tends to do, I guess. Also in this scene, we learn that Kevin has a juice machine in his locker. That's not important. I just kind of thought it was funny. Nick finds out that she has a boyfriend though, and she sang that song that he wrote for her to her boyfriend at like this little concert thing. And so then he gets really sad, but he eventually gets over it. In the B plot, Jonas fans always rip apart the guys' clothing whenever they like walk by or whatever, I guess like on tour too. So Stella designs some like Velcro outfits to replace them. So like they would just like you get the idea, okay? And she makes Macy test them out. In Groovy Movies, the brothers ruin Jonas's mom's birthday by destroying their home movies that are on VHS, by the way, because this is in 2009, while attempting to bake a cake for her because they used a colander. And the cake batter fell through the colander, through the holes. I did not explain that very well, so sorry. They make it up to her by filming remakes of all the childhood videos. That's all that happens in this episode. I'm like genuinely not even kidding. And here's a little photo of Nick in a chef's outfit because he looks so cute. In Pizza Girl, Kevin, Joe, and Nick share a crush on, you guessed it, the pizza delivery girl. They all try to ask her out, but there's this whole thing about like the Book of Jonas where they can't ask a girl out if they all like her. If you've seen Big Time Rush, it's like the rule of dibs pretty much. Stella tells them not to like freak her out, or else she's not going to go out with any of them, and they end up freaking her out. So then she goes out with none of them. They also spend most of the episode just ordering pizza the entire time so that she can like just deliver it. Yeah. And keeping it real, Jonah's mom tries to keep the boys grounded after they can't have like a normal family breakfast because they just have so much going on. And so the boys try their best to like prove to their mom that they can be grounded, but then they just keep getting mobbed by fans. This episode makes me so rationally angry. Like she's just being so stupid. Anyway, so they're trying to do like chores and then they get trapped at Macy's aunt's store because they had to go donate clothes. And so then they try to get like past the fans in disguise because they're like up against like all the windows or whatever, but that doesn't work. And then their parents are outside the shop and they see them trying to escape. And so then Jonah's mom is like, oh, well, I'm really proud of your guys' effort. And then she says that she just has to get used to their fame, which is like, yeah, you do. In band's best friend, Joe's friend Carl comes to visit, but he's just using the band in order to like get their celebrity-ness. I don't know. Fun fact, Carl is played by the guy that Miley went to prom with in that one episode of Hannah Montana. In the B plot, Stella gets mad at Macy after she uses like the money she lent her on a collector's potato chip that looks like Joe. Also early in the episode, Stella goes on this tangent because she thinks that Carl spilled pudding in her purse in like first grade or something. But then she later finds out that it was Joe because he had a crush on her and he still might. I guess we'll see. Here starts the Joe and Stella saga. In Chasing the Dream, Kevin lets Macy be a backup singer for the next Jonas album, but she's like really bad at singing, like really bad. And so instead of telling her that, they let her record vocals. But as they're doing that, the producer guy for their album like walks in and he's like, oh, she's like really bad. Like that cannot be on the album. And they were like, oh yeah, no, she's definitely not gonna be on the album. She overhears this and then she was like, you guys lied to me and told me I was good. And then she gets all mad. And then Kevin apologizes the next day and she's like, you know what? I forgive you guys because I love Jonas and I can't be mad at you guys. In Fashion Victim, Joe gets jealous when Stella goes on a date with Van Dyke. Yes, his name is Van Dyke. So he calls for an emergency fashion meeting to ruin Stella's date. In return, Stella gives Joe a bad outfit to wear when they go meet the UK Prime Minister, but the prime minister was out that day, I guess. And so they ended up meeting the queen. So then she kind of feels bad. They make up by the end of the episode. And if you're wondering what Kevin and Nick do, it's nothing. They literally do nothing in this episode. They are literally background characters. In That Ding You Do, Joe develops a crush on a cello player who doesn't like rock stars. So to get her attention, he decides to join the orchestra and he plays the triangle. And so Nick and Kevin also join to help him out. I don't remember. I think Nick plays the drums, and I believe Kevin plays the guitar. Meanwhile, Macy and Stella have a bet on who can go longer without like their obsessions. So for Stella, it's texting, and then for Macy, it's talking about Jonas. Stella breaks first. This is back when they still had those like sliding, like with the slide out keyboard. In Complete Repeat, Nick experiences writer's block, which he never has like had before. So this is an important thing. And he also has a really bad day. Like a lot of things go wrong. So then he falls asleep later, and then he dreams of writing a really good song. But when he wakes up, he can't remember it. So then Joe and Kevin try to recreate his entire day the next day. The song actually ends up being a commercial jingle that he heard while he was sleeping because the TV was just on. And so then out of frustration, he like bangs on the keyboard and then he accidentally writes a song. So go him. This is my favorite episode from season 1. By the way, just because it's a Nick-centered episode. In Lovesick, Joe and Stella are supposed to go to a fashion event together, like as a date, but it's also like not a date. It's like a whole thing. So Joe flakes because he's scared to go out with her. They decide to go to the school basketball game later, but then Joe gets sick, but he still goes anyway because he felt bad for canceling. And then Stella felt bad because he like actually wasn't lying this time about being sick. So yeah. Macy also starts dating this guy named Randolph, but she just turns him into Nick. Like she makes him wear a wig and like changes his outfit. It's kind of crazy. And then Kevin also joins Cheer. If you're wondering what Nick does this episode, he does nothing. In The Three Musketeers, the boys act in a school production of The Three Musketeers. Shocking, I'm aware. Joe quits over stage fright, so Van Dyke fills in for him. But that means he gets to be Stella's love interest. And so then Joe reclaims his role literally mid performance so then he can kiss Stella instead. I'll mention here that Van Dyke is literally my favorite character. He's so funny. Oh my gosh. He's so dumb, but I love him so much. He's so great. In Frantic Romantic, the boys go to a club as 15 to 17-year-olds in New Jersey because that's just really realistic, you know? The tabloids think that Joe is in a relationship with this actress. Her name's Fiona Sky, because she keeps like articulating photos with them together. Like she dropped her necklace, he picked it up, and then she was like, oh, thank you. And then they got pictures of it, obviously. So then Fiona starts to follow him around just because she's trying to use the publicity of them dating for like her TV show or something. So him and his brothers try and get her to go away with the help of Macy because she's just like really smart in this stuff because she obviously runs a little fan count for them. So she just knows things, you know? And so then they pretend that Stella is his new girlfriend to get her to go away. In detention, Joe pulls the fire alarm on accident and he doesn't get in trouble because he's famous, but his friend Abby gets detention for being like right next to him while it happened. So then Joe attempts to get detention and he does successfully in order to apologize to Abby, and he also gets help from Nick and Kevin. Meanwhile, Stella struggles with her grade in PE class, and Macy tries to help her find a sport that she's good at, which is none. She's not good at any of them. Then she decides to make uniforms for the volleyball team instead, and so the volleyball coach gave her PE credits. I also hated PE, so I really resonate with that. In Karaoke Surprise, for their 15th friendship anniversary, Joe throws a party for Stella with the help of Macy. Stella becomes jealous and suspicious, like over how much time Joe and Macy are together. She tries to get like the truth out of Nick and Kevin. They don't tell her anything, obviously. And so then the party is revealed at the end, and then she's like, oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, I thought you guys were like dating or something. Also, something else that happens in this episode is Nick and Kevin have a hacky sack competition, which I completely forgot about until I had to go find photos for this. So there you go. In Home Not Alone, the guys spend their parents on vacation. In Home Not Alone, the guys send their parents on vacation so that they can be, you guessed it, home alone. Frankie invites his whole school to their house for a party though, and so then the boys have to like hide it from their parents. And in the B plot, Macy asks Stella to come to the Jonas fan club meeting at the school, and then Stella indirectly takes over the club, so then Macy gets upset. Party is cleaned up at the very end by the Jonas fan club. In forgetting Stella's birthday, the guys forget Stella's birthday, fork found in the kitchen. They try to make up for it by redoing her birthday the following day, but then they have an interview at the same time, so then they like switch back and forth between the two events because like the interview's upstairs and the party's downstairs. Eventually, Stella finds out what they're doing and then she gets upset and then she leaves. The next day, she forgives them because she read the interview or whatever and they were just saying how much like they appreciate her. In The Tale of the Haunted Firehouse, Kevin thinks that there's a ghost in the firehouse. I forgot to mention that. They live in a firehouse. He enlists Stella, Joe, and Nick to help him find it. They don't think that there's a ghost, obviously, until Nick disappears. And then at the very end, it's revealed that everything was a ruse put on by Nick, Joe, and Stella to get Kevin to stop talking about this like stupid ghost thing or whatever. And then at the very end, Frankie and Jonas' dad scare them all. In Double Date, Van Dyke asks Stella out on a date and she accepts. But Joe gets really jealous and then crashes their date with Macy as his date. In the B plot, Kevin is addicted to these cookies that Nick makes because he's a baker. They really want to push that idea on you. I wish there was more to say about this episode, but there's literally not. That's like all that happens.
That is actually not true. I'm so good at my job. I know. So actually, after the date, Stella goes to the Jonas house, and then her and Joe kiss. I think they are supposed to have like an enemies to lovers kind of moment. Not completely sure. Anyway, and then later the next day at school, they just kiss in the hallway in front of Kevin and Nick. And yeah, and then they never mention this ever again. So I don't think they're together. I think it's just complicated. Yeah.
In Cold Shoulder, Kevin's old girlfriend Anya, who I believe is from Norway, don't quote me on that though, joins their school, but other students make fun of her because they find her weird. In the B plot, Joe, Nick, and Macy try to find out who's been taking pictures of Jonas and uploading them to Macy's website. At the end, it's revealed that Macy is actually doing it because she got a new smartphone. This is when like touchscreens were invented, I guess. It's like automatically taking photos and uploading them to the website, and she didn't know that. And then there's also a school dance that happens, and Stella helps Anya become like more normal, aka American. And then Kevin's like, no, I liked the old you. And so then he breaks up with her. In Beauty and the Beat, not to be confused with the song by Justin Bieber, the boys become the judges of a beauty contest that Stella decides to become a contestant in after saying, she doesn't like them, but she decides to do it anyway. She reenacts the viral like Miss Teen USA speech from 2007 because I guess it was relevant. Then Stella feels really embarrassed about that, so then the guys include her speech in one of their new music videos, and so now it's like really cool actually. And then all is well. In the last episode of season 1, Exam Jam, the Jonas World concert tour is coming up, and the boys have to pass all of their finals in order to go on tour. Joe and Stella talk about being away from each other because they're like kind of together, but not really. It's really confusing. Nick fails his geometry test, putting the tour in jeopardy. Kevin and Joe devise a plan to help Nick pass by turning all the material he needs to know into a song.
Which is also a plot point in a Hannah Montana episode, so that's pretty fun.
And that's so fair. Geometry actually sucked. That was the worst class I ever had to take. You have to memorize like 30 million formulas, so that's fair. They also play songs featured in season 1 just between plot related scenes, so it's like music video and then there's like plot and then another music. Yeah, you get it. Nick passes the makeup test and then the tour is back on. I also didn't mention this because it's very irrelevant, but sometimes a very, very minor C plot is just Frankie playing hide and seek in the house. And then they forget to like look for him. So he's just like hiding for like days. And then they like eventually remember. The theme song for the show is Live to Party, but it's also featured in some of the episodes, just occasionally, even between scene changes sometimes. The first song this season is Give Love a Try, sung as a duet by Nick and Penny. The next song is Pizza Girl. Try and guess where that one's from. Third is Keep It Real, featured in Keeping It Real and Exam Jam. Fourth is We Gotta Work It Out in Band's Best Friend, Beauty and the Beat, and Exam Jam. Fifth is Why in Fashion Victim, Detention, and The Three Musketeers. If you watch all my videos on my channel, you would know that I absolutely despise that song. Moving on. Next is Blue Danube, only in That Thing You Do. To be honest, I don't remember them singing this song at all, but I stole this from Wikipedia, so I'm really hoping that they don't lie to me about that. Seventh is Lovesick in both Lovesick, shocking, I know, and Exam Jam. Next is Give Love a Try, Joe's version, in Karaoke Surprise and Exam Jam. 10th is Time Is on Our Side in Forgetting Stella's Birthday and Exam Jam. Last is Scandinavia in Cold Shoulder and, you guessed it, Exam Jam. Fun fact, the songs Keep It Real, Why, We Gotta Work It Out, Lovesick, Time Is on Our Side, and Live to Party are all featured on the Nintendo DS game. Yes, this show got a DS game, like most of its adjacent Disney Channel shows. Unfortunately, I can't play this game because I don't have a DS, and so then there's like really no way to play it. You best believe I found a way to get the game. Also, if you watch my videos, you would have known that I found a way to get a bunch of like DS games on my iPad. So this was literally the first one that I was looking for. Yay, we're gonna play this game. It's gonna be so fun.
Hello, welcome to this corner of my room. This is where I'm gonna be playing this wonderful game. Let's get into it, I guess. Okay. New game. Check it out, Nick. Our #1 fan is here. That's weird. Cool, glad you could drop by. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you hang out with us today? Yeah, you could see what it's like to be a fabulously popular rock star. Guys, I'm not sure if I want to hang out. Who also happen to be high school students, of course. How could I forget? Let's get started. Why am I their biggest fan and why am I hanging out with them? Touch Nick, Joe, or Kevin to select performance story mode. I only see 2 of them at the moment. Oh, that's because Kevin's down there. My bad. Okay, how do I get story? Oh, I have to play as Joe. I guess we have to play Key Minute Reel. I guess that's what we're gonna do. Oh my god. Jesus. Dude, oh my god, the graphics of this are just so special. Okay. Wow. That's really interesting. Episode 1, keeping it real. Alright, now we're getting into it. Oh my god, it's Jonas' mom. Who would have thought? Good morning, Mom, says Nick. Oh, he looks so cute. I say that as if he's not like 3 pixels. Hold it. Where are Kevin and Joe? Breakfast was 20 minutes ago. Okay, touch the screen with the Nintendo DS stylus to move, aka my Apple Pencil. Kevin and Joe are upstairs in the loft. Try using the amped action. Guys, I definitely know what that means. I get to play as Nick. This is such a good day, guys. Oh boy. Why does he move like that? Oh, what is this? Guys, I think I might have actually just done something on accident. Sure, I'll save the game. Why not? What did I do? Oh, I found a save spot. Good to know. Too big for our britches, young man. Okay. Oh, now I can go upstairs. Oh, I see. So the top is just telling me what to do. Good to know. Oh, I did not read that last bit. Oh well. Oh, I have a phone. Interesting. How long is this game gonna take me? They very much mapped out the house, that's for sure. Okay, I need to go upstairs. Guys, wake up. The eggs are getting cold. The English muffins are losing their Englishness. I don't think Nick would say that. Oh, Joe is sleeping. Kevin is sleeping. Uh-oh, this is more serious than I thought. Time to consult the Jonas Book of Law. Oh my god, guys, it's the Jonas Book of Law. Who would have thought? This book is loaded with helpful information. I'm sure it is. Look for musical objects everywhere you go. Okay, I have to fill up the Jonas power meter. There's guitars right there. Why don't those work? Oh, I found it. I need a radio, I see. And a bell. More options. Oh. The Jonas power meter turns orange when filled. Good to know. Oh god, I have to play the guitar. I did not anticipate this happening. Oh, I was not reading what they said. That's on me. Okay, well, you know, instructions really aren't my business, to be honest. Oh, I think it works. Oh god, I think I get it. So they want me to do this. Okay, they don't want me to do that. Good to know. Mechanics on this are a bit janky. We'll give it that. Oh, so it only works if I have this angle. Okay. Oh, thank God. Did it work? Oh, it worked. Yay, we're just lucky it wasn't Mom. She's waiting for us downstairs and she's not happy. And Fairy Godmother's not happy about it. Sorry. What? Oh, I need to go downstairs and talk to Mom. Okay, guys. Hello, Mom. Tell Joe I'd like a word with him about where he was last night. Whoa. Well, that's Frankie. Hello, Frankie. Gee, it's Mr. I don't love Mom enough to be on time for breakfast. Shut up, Frankie. Hi, I'm back. So I actually just like reset the game and like did everything over again. And I just you know what was wrong? I missed a very crucial piece of information that you'll definitely be able to see in the footage. I literally so you can switch characters that you're using, and I didn't read that. What? Oh, I need to go downstairs and talk to Mom. Okay, guys. So I'm learning now. I just need to read the directions. So the reason that I kept going back and forth because I was like, well, I need to talk to Joe. Where's Joe? I needed to be Joe. So now I'm going to switch to Joe. That's Kevin. There's Joe. Hello, Joe. You took the Jonas jet for Chicago style pizza. They have there's a Jonas jet. That's crazy. Oh my god. Like Taylor Swift in her private jet. It's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Oh, I think it's right there. I think it's a thing that with a big exclamation point over it. In this section, I'm trying to fix the Stellinator, which is the machine that gives them their outfits. So that's what this is all about. I liked playing as Nick. I don't really like playing as Joe. The whole guitar thing is a little bit finicky, I will give it that. But, you know, this is a DS game that I am playing on my iPad, so maybe I'm the problem. Basically all I'm doing in this is I have to get these boxes and move them to different platforms so that I can jump up on them. And for these little sliding bits, you have to like use the guitar thing to make them go a different way. And Joe kept jumping on top of the box and I needed him to push it. I was getting so annoyed. It was driving me actually crazy. Joe, I'm swapping. We're gonna play as Kevin. I'm assuming Kevin will not jump on the box. That's my philosophy at the moment. Disaster struck once again. Choosing Kevin was the worst idea ever. So if you notice his little bar at the top of the like right hand corner, yeah, so his is shorter than both Joe and Nick's, and I just didn't know that. So I had to redo this multiple times because I didn't have enough time from when I did the guitar thing to move the box, and that was just because his time like is shorter because he has a shorter bar. So yeah, bad choice. How was I supposed to know? They probably explained that, but I wasn't listening, so. Does Kevin have like a particularly short? I need to play as Nick. We're gonna play as Nick. Because he has a really long power meter. So then I'll have more time. See, that was no problem at all. Speak for yourself, Nick. I was having some issues. Change each brother into a school uniform. I'm not sure I like that idea. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's so cute. Oh. Oh my god, this is so fun. I love this. Oh my gosh, and they like change. Oh my gosh, he looks so cute. Okay. Now we're gonna play Kevin. We're gonna dress Kevin. Now we get to dress Joe. Hooray! I did it. Oh, this is very cinematic. Interesting. Oh my god, what are they doing? Why are their hands huge? Oh my god. I need to walk to school? That's crazy. Where's school? Where am I? I'm right here. Oh, I need to go this way. Oh my god, I can just like run everywhere. Interesting. Oh god. Okay. Oh my gosh. Dude, they're so fast. They're like really fast. That's scary. Sweat? Oh god. Wait, well, why did you... No, why did you stop me? Oh my god, what is going on here? Oh, I need to do this. Is my stylus gonna work though? Doubtful. Why am I playing as Joe? Shouldn't he be wearing a red thing? Completely true. Jonas. What the hell? Is that a thing that they like just do? I don't remember them doing that. Oh my god, best character! It's Stella! Oh my god. Hello, Stella! Oh my god, she looks so cute. Oh, they're donating clothes. Like what happened in the episode. Crazy. Misa's pieces. Like Macy Misa? Like Jar Jar Binks? Misa want this? Do I just have to like avoid fans all the time? Yes. To answer my question, yes. Yes, I do have to do that. Okay. Wash the dirty dishes. Use the stylus and grab the tool that has the same color on the messes as the dishes. Okay. Pretty good score, I'd say. It's also my high score. I have to carry the box. Oh my god, he's gonna walk so slow. I did not mean to do that. I did not. Can I ever explore this world without people trying to kill me? Oh my god. She's like having like a heart attack. Jesus Christ. Alright. We have a ton of clothes for you. Whoa. That was funny. Oh my god, I love that. There's a lot of talking in this game. I don't think you guys need to talk that much. This section is the same as the last minigame. You go through the place, move the boxes once again, and then you have to do the guitar thing, but this time you're looking for outfits for the boys to wear. They're all surgical outfits, so yeah. Hi, Mom. No, everything's totally normal. You'd be proud of how normal we're being. It's right there. Oh my god. This is so funny. Like literally the entire episode. just a little bit different. We could have flown the Jonas copter. Oh my goodness gracious. Jonas mom, it's not very keeping it real. This is not good. Help Jonas perform live on stage. I don't think you want my help. Oh, they're all playing guitar. Interesting. Not a lot of variety, but alright. Oh god. What? How's that wrong? Oh, I do just press it. Okay. This section is just like Friday Night Funkin', pretty much, in case you were wondering what the gameplay was like. It was not very great. Didn't really catch a lot of things I was doing, but whatever. During this, they're performing Keep It Real, because this is the episode Keeping It Real. The fans are still outside. What do you mean you can't believe it?
Can't believe you stole a llama and brought it here.
Jeez. Oh, they're all taking a photo. They took a little photo with Macy. That's so cute. Alright, episode 2. I'm definitely not trying episode 2. This has been detrimental to my mental health, I think.
The main cast for season 2 is Joe, Kevin, Nick, Stella, and Macy. Important characters are Stella's aunt, Vanessa Page, and DZ, played by that one guy that got arrested that was in Lemonade Mouth. This season is set in LA, if the title change wasn't obvious enough. Something that they implement this season as well is previously on and next on at the beginning and end of each episode. This season was more of a drama series than a comedy as well. In the first episode, House Party, Joe, Kevin, and Nick throw a party in their new LA apartment. Emma Roberts attends as Emma Roberts. Keep that in mind for later. Also, DZ is there. He's their neighbor, and he will just kind of like show up sometimes in the season, and he doesn't really like do much. Macy and Stella travel to LA to stay with them for the summer. Stella and Joe decide to be friends after Stella's aunt tells her not to date rock stars because they just like it never ends well. Also, very briefly, Joe runs into actress Vanessa Page, and she encourages him to start acting. In Back to the Beach, Kevin helps Joe get ready for an audition for Vanessa's movie, which I believe is called Forever April. And Nick gets jealous when Stone Stevens, a famous surfer played by Elvis himself, starts flirting with Macy and then offers her a job running his website. Nick says no to him. Macy gets mad at him because he decided for her, which is so fair. He shouldn't have done that. So then she quits the Jonas website, taking Stone's job offer. Nick fails at surfing because he was trying to like be Stone Stevens or something. I'm not quite sure what the intention there was. But then he tells Macy that he actually just really wants to spend time with her. She rejects Elvis's offer and then goes back to the Jonas website. Here starts the Nick and Macy saga. Joe gets the role in Vanessa's movie and still has feelings for Stella. Shocking. In Date Expectations, Stella meets this guy named Ben and they go on a date. Joe is dog sitting for Vanessa and then Stella gets mad about this because apparently dog sitting is like next step to engagement or something. I'm not really quite sure what her thought process is there, but yeah. Joe gets mad that Stella is going out with Ben. They both clearly like each other, but whatever. Nick and Kevin compete against one another to participate in Justin Timberlake's ping pong tournament. Some things about this episode as well. DZ refers to a singular Jonas member as a JONAS, which honestly is a very funny joke if he didn't explain it 2 seconds later. Also, when Stella is getting ready for her date, she is wearing so many necklaces. I understand that this came out in 2010, but like, dude, there's so many. In And Action, Joe begins filming for Vanessa's movie Forever April and can't remember any of his lines. And so then the director is really mean to him, but then she gives him a little pep talk and he's all good. And now he remembers all his lines. Also, Mona, the director, kicks Kevin off the set. Keep that in mind. Macy gets DZ ready for a date and she tries to like hint to Nick that like he should tell her that he likes her instead of just being like cryptic and weird. At the very end, they finally admit that they both like each other. Hooray! Also, Stella's aunt attempts to give Stella a massage, which goes very poorly. In America's Sweetheart, Joe has to do a photo shoot with Vanessa at their house, and then the director tells Joe to kiss Vanessa. He doesn't because Stella tells him that Vanessa doesn't want him to kiss her, even though Vanessa does. Joe and Vanessa both like each other, and then they start dating at the end because they like get through the whole like miscommunication or whatever. Kevin has to find Mona's earring to figure out the secret to directing because she sent him on that little mission. And then Nick helps him find the earring. At the very end, Kevin makes a short film about Stella's teddy bear attacking people. In The Secret, Big Man's niece Kiara, played by icon China McClain, comes to visit and she finds out that Nick and Macy are dating because that was apparently a secret. Hence the secret. In order to keep the secret, Kiara wants to be on a Jonas song, so he's like, fine, I guess. Nick then sings the song in front of everyone to Macy, so now they all know. It's no longer a secret. In the B plot, Joe is practicing for a fight in his movie, and then he accidentally hits Kevin in the eye, so now he's a black eye. And then Kevin plans to hit him back, but he won't tell Joe when, and so then Joe gets like really paranoid. In A Wasabi Story, Joe and Vanessa have lunch with Ben and Stella, and then Joe eats some wasabi on accident, and he like dies pretty much. So then Stella gets him all better, and then they like have a little moment that Ben walks in, like, as it's happening. It's kind of awkward. So then he breaks up with Stella. Then Vanessa finds out that Joe and Stella used to go out, and so now she hates Stella. Nick and Kevin go golfing with Macy, and she pretends to be really bad at golfing so that she can, like, make a bet with them. Winner gets to live in the main house, and then loser has to stay in the guest house, which is where her and Stella are currently staying, which is pretty iconic if you ask me. She wins, and then the guys complain about staying in the guest house. They're only in there for the scene though, and then in the rest of the season they're in the main house. Also, like, do they not remember that season 1 Macy was just obsessed with doing sports? That's all she did in season 1, is she just did different sports. So I feel like that they should have known that she was, like, pretending. In Up in the Air, Stella gets a job on Joe's movie as the costume director, and Vanessa gets mad about this, as you might imagine. So then she decides to move in with Stella until Stella quits. And then Joe finds out about all this happening, and then him and Vanessa break up. I'm pretty sure she breaks up with him because she's like, I think you and Stella need to figure out what the hell's going on between you two, which is so fair. Nick has to get Macy a present for their 1 month anniversary, and so then Kevin tells him that her family only does, like, handmade gifts because she, like, told Kevin that. And so then he makes her a mug, and it's pretty bad. So then he gets earrings as a backup, and then she gets him a watch. In direct to video, Jonas' dad is back and gets the guys a music video with this really weird dude, but Kevin wants to direct the video because he's, like, a director now. So they fire the old director, and then Kevin does it, and it's pretty sick to say the least. Stella gets sick, and Macy babysits Frankie, who develops a crush on her, but he breaks up with her when she can't make him cookies. Pretty silly. In the flirt locker, Joe has an interview with this blogger lady, and so he uses his, like, quote unquote charm to make her like him, and it goes a little too well, and so now she thinks that they're dating. So then he asks Macy and Stella to help him, like, get rid of her. Stella tells Joe all of his flaws, and so then he gets really mad at her. Nick is meeting with this producer dude, who is Loki, a little bit wacky. And then he tells Nick that he'll only work with him if he's, like, solo, which is a little problematic. Big Man helps Kevin train for tour in the backyard. In Boat Trip, Joe and Stella are still not speaking to each other, because of last episode, and so Nick and Macy attempt to get them to talk by going on a boat, hence Boat Trip. David Henry and Kevin apparently have generational beef, so then David challenges Kevin to his reality show competition. Yes, David Henry as David Henry. Keep that in mind. The challenges are just like the Disney Channel games, pretty much. Then it ends up being a misunderstanding. Now they're all good, but now David Henry has beef with Joe. Also, at the very end, Joe asks Stella to be his girlfriend. In On the Radio, we pick up from the last episode, and Stella agrees to be Joe's girlfriend. Nick meets with that producer dude from a few episodes ago and says that he will do only one song with him. David Henry asks Kevin to direct his new film that he's doing, and also Joe gets an offer to film Forever April 2 in New Zealand. That sounds familiar to you? That's because Joe from Big Time Rush also got a movie offer in New Zealand. I don't know how those two overlap so well, but whatever. Joe, Kevin, and Nick do an interview on the radio, hence On the Radio, to tell their fans that they're not breaking up.
Because news got out about Nick's solo thing, so fans thought that they were breaking up, by the way. Forgot to mention that.
But then they all find out that they all have little side projects that they're doing. I guess they just didn't tell each other about. So then they all get mad at each other. But at the very end, they plan a concert to show that their fans that they're not actually breaking up. Lastly, in Band of Brothers, Stella is going back home because Joe lied about being in another movie that he just apparently forgot to tell her about.
He didn't forget. He purposely did not tell her. Sorry about that.
These two, man, these two are just So then Joe runs to the airport to stop her. Stella actually never got on the plane because she was sad and she didn't actually want to leave, blah, blah, blah. And then Joe tells her that he loves her, and then they're together again. The guys perform at their concert, and then the show ends. This season actually got a studio album released compared to the last season. That did not, so that was kind of fun to find all the songs from the last season. But anyway, the album has 13 tracks featuring all the songs from the season, minus the theme song, Live to Party. The first song is Feeling Alive, which they sing at their fan concert. Second song is LA Baby, in parentheses, Where Dreams Are Made Of. This song is featured at the very beginning of the show, first episode, and also appears in other episodes briefly. This is the only song that I know of off the top of my head that I really don't like. Third is Your Biggest Fan. This is the song that Nick sings to Macy. The fourth song is Critical. Fifth is Hey You. Sixth is Things Will Never Be the Same. Seventh is Fall. 8 is Summer Rain. 9 is Drive. 10 Invisible. 11 Make It Right. 12 Chillin' in the Summertime. And 13 Set This Party Off. For 4 through 13, I don't remember when they sing these songs. I remember them singing them. Like, I can picture them in my head. I just don't know what episodes they're from. So yeah. The first question I had and still have is, why does the show exist? Easy, the Jonas Brothers. Like, Disney wasn't not going to make a show about them. That would have been really stupid. To me, the lack of anything in this show is due to the fact that they just didn't really need to try, honestly. Like, people were gonna watch the show regardless of if it was good or not. The power of the Jonas Brothers, you know? Just to clarify, I'm not putting blame on any of the boys or any of the other actors. They were just, working with what they had. I'm sure it wasn't great material to begin with. So that being said, I think the best performance in this series is Chelsea Kane. I was never bored when she was on screen. Like, she just, oh my god, she has like power. She kind of ruled Disney Channel back in 2010. So, I should also probably put this out as a disclaimer. I'm not a show or film critic. I just like to complain about things. It's one of my favorite things to do. So that's what I will be doing. The first problem I had is nothing happens in this show. Like, there's a plot to each episode. I just read them all to you. So, but they're so slow. Like, the episodes are 20 minutes long, yet they feel like 40. I'm like counting down the minutes as I'm sitting there. I mean, in the first season, there's like bits that they have that try to keep it engaging, but it's like just not enough for me, to be honest. To explain my point, I guess I can compare it to like a similar show, which is Big Time Rush. I mean, Big Time Rush technically came out after season 1 of Jonas, but it doesn't matter who came first, it just matters who did it better. The thing about Big Time Rush is that it like actually never takes itself seriously. That show is so wacky and goofy all the time. And for that show, I guess it just makes a lot more sense. And I think that's what Jonas was trying to do. It just like didn't quite work for me. I feel like it took itself too seriously most of the time. So when they try and pull like gags, it doesn't really work as well. For example, there's this running bit in one of the episodes where Joe can like pull things from the ceiling and he like puts them back up and then he pulls them back down again. Yeah, and he also has like endless pockets, like Mary Poppins bag type of pockets, which is like it could be funny. It's just like they never use it enough to the point where it's like I kind of forgot that happened, and so then when I see it, I'm just like that's really weird. Like, why is that happening in this show? You know what I mean? They also break the fourth wall a lot, and I feel like if the show just took itself less seriously, then maybe it would work a little bit better. When they do it, it's just like okay, like that's weird. Like what's going on? I actually really like that they kind of dropped all the comedy like aspects of the show in season 2, and so it just kind of became like a drama sort of thing with like a little bit. It's obviously not like a drama. It's like a Disney Channel drama, but I actually think it worked a lot better for them. Season 2, in my opinion, is definitely a step up, but it's also very much still boring. Like there's still not a lot of things that happen. Also, something I should note about myself is that I can literally enjoy anything. I could be watching God knows what. Like I could be watching Cocomelon and I'd probably be entertained, So it doesn't take much to entertain me. But getting through the show was a little bit treacherous. The only things that kind of kept me going were number one, this video, and then Stella Malone and Nick Jonas, the actor, not the character. Shout out to all my Nick girls out there. That's another problem I kind of had with the show is that their characters really don't have personality. I mean, the show will try and tell you that they do, but they just don't. They really don't. The extent of what like the dialogue will try and shove down your throat is that Joe likes girls, Nick is serious and likes girls, and Kevin is not smart and likes girls. Now, I know someone might say the show was based off like an old TV show, like the Beatles. The Beatles also did movies, with like different personalities, but like kind of like themselves. And so I guess that's what they were trying to go for. But I don't really care. So like their characters are kind of supposed to be a joke in itself, but I don't know. I don't think it really works for me. But maybe I'm just too harsh on a show that was made for 12-year-olds in 2010. This is a very minor problem that I had, but I still felt like including. But it's Nick and Macy's relationship. They get together in season 2 after no signs of Nick liking her ever, ever before. So Macy dating him makes sense because she literally dated this guy and turned him into Nick. So it's very clear that Nick is her favorite brother. So it makes sense that she would want to date him. But Nick dating a girl who is known for being obsessed with like him and his brothers just like doesn't make sense for his character at all. In the first episode of season 2, they like hug after she gets to the house or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that you're here." But why? He never had this like feelings before. It's so weird. Them being together just kind of feels a little out of nowhere for me. But I do think they're a very cute couple, and they're like my favorite part of season 2. So that's my only complaint there. I also have a beef with a lot of the songs in this show. Like most of them are really bad. They're just not good. Mostly from season 1. Season 2 songs are pretty good. There's like I said, LA Baby, that's one I just really don't like. But I mean, other than that, like they're pretty decent. Some of my least favorite songs though are Pizza Girl. Need I say more? If you've heard the song, oh my god, it's like not good. I probably can't play it because of copyright, but it gets stuck in my head all the time, unfortunately. Just because it's very catchy, but it's so bad. I don't like it. Also, Scandinavia. Sorry to all the Kevin girlies out there. I'm aware this is his only solo song, but it's just like they gave him the worst one. Really dumb. And then obviously Why? Boo, worst song ever. Literally hate it. I'm also just not really a big fan of a lot of the songs from season 1. I just don't like have strong opinions about them, bad or good. I just like I don't really care. And then in season 2, obviously LA Baby, and then also that song that Nick sings to Macy. He starts rapping midway, and that freaked me out the first time I heard it. But that's kind of it. Other than that, no complaint. Also, I'm not sure whose fault this is, but in season 1, the Joe and Stella saga episodes set up like a lot for their relationship, but then there's like random episodes in between that like where Joe goes out with another girl and like they never bring up him and Stella liking each other. So like I don't know if that's like a production thing or like a Disney Plus order thing, and so maybe that's wrong. I'm really not sure. But like even that one time that Joe and Stella kiss in the hallway and then it's never brought up again. That's like mid-season too. Like I feel like that's something to bring up, you would think. They also introduced that machine thing that Stella built in Fashion Victim. It's called like the Stellanator or something, I don't remember. But pretty confident that they use it before that. So someone can fact check me. But yeah. Lastly, I have a lot of questions regarding the lore implications of this show. Like they're not the Jonas Brothers, you know what I mean? But they're a band called Jonas. That's fine. I can understand that, okay? Something I just don't really like is when they reference real life things. For example, like the episode where Justin Timberlake has a ping pong tournament. You're trying to tell me that Britney Spears, as Britney Spears exists in this world, or the fact that like Emma Roberts was just at their party. Something that I really just cannot wrap my head around though is the fact that David Henry as David Henry is there. Does that mean that like Disney Channel as an entity exists? So like Wizards of Waverly Place as a show exists in the Jonas universe? Like what does that mean for Jonas though? You know what I mean? Like I'm not really sure. Emily Osment also guest stars in the show as herself. So like Hannah Montana, the show must exist as well. That also opens a whole nother can of worms because if you recall, the Jonas Brothers as themselves guest star on Hannah Montana. Not to mention the Nick, Miley, and Selena drama that all happened in real life, which I'm assuming would have occurred as well. Also, Joe dated Taylor Swift and broke up with her on a phone call in this universe. I just think it's very odd that there's a possibility that there's like Jonas Brothers variants running around. You know what I mean? I can't do this anymore, man. I'm just like, my brain is fried. Now, do I think this show is bad? No, not really. I was, at the very, very least, entertained at some points. Would I watch it again? Probably. I just like the Jonas Brothers. I'd probably just keep it on as background noise because I wouldn't be missing anything of importance. Fun fact, in their 2019 documentary, which is called Chasing Happiness, the brothers revealed that they regretted doing the series because they agreed that the show was bad and that it negatively impacted their image. So they kind of agree with me, actually.
Eat my shorts.
But at the end of the day, it's not that serious. And if you love the show and think it's the best thing to come out of television, then that's your prerogative. But I am silently judging you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like watching me talk about things, I have more of that on my YouTube channel. I talk about a lot of things, so you should check that out. Like and comment if you want more Jonas content. I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. I never want to talk about the show again. No, thank you. That's all the yapping I have for today. Bye-bye.